Umbrella Academy Season 4 has just been released, guys, and describing the ending as shocking is genuinely an understatement.
You know, I just want to say, I love you guys.
And while there are parts that I absolutely adored, the ending itself, I have mixed feelings about. Hey guys, I'm Frankenstein, and today I'm gonna be diving into the Umbrella Academy Season 4. I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion, discuss what I liked, what I disliked, and with everything that transpires this season, there is a lot to discuss.
Membership is rapidly growing across all metro areas in the US as well as Europe.
But before I dive into that, if you guys are new to this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs.
And smile!
No.
And for those who don't know, I create content about anime, movies, manhwa, and other shows, and I absolutely love it. So if you guys also love it, go see my other content. I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy it. Now, without further ado, let's get going.
I heard a rumor that you shot your friend.
The first thing we're going to be discussing is Allison. She was a major talking point in Season 3, but had a noticeably reduced role this season.
Hey, why don't you come on in? Just for one little slice of cake.
We've already talked about this. Nobody wants me in there.
Allison was now back on the hero side. We saw Victor and the other siblings forgive her. And a lot of people dislike this development because she did a huge, horrible thing at the end of Season 3. You'd think they'd be mad, but the forgiveness was done a little bit more quickly.
No, nobody wants me in there.
And honestly, I do not totally disagree with that opinion. While I did want to see them end on good terms at the end of the season, you know, the last episode, the fact that they got there really quick and that there was no struggle and we didn't get to see a journey with her bonding with each sibling and getting their forgiveness kind of sucked.
You know, I think you might be right. I am a ball buster.
And the fact that she got a reduced role, and that probably was because she wasn't well liked the last season, the reception was not that good, was not something I kind of agree with because you made her a big role last season. So at the very least, give her a big role this season. Show me her character development instead of showing me that she went back to old habits.
You don't have somebody else who can do that?
Can somebody give me my phone?
So let's move on to the next thing we're going to be talking about, and that is Luthor. Luthor is honestly one of the best characters in this series.
No, come on, don't be such a sourpuss.
He remains funny this season. He's still the comedic relief. And while I do love the fact that he is comedic relief and his jokes and the silliness in his actions are great.
Since when is the old guy moves?
Last season we got to see him grow. He wasn't the main focus point of the season, but we saw him grow, and I wanted them to continue this season to show more of his growth instead of him being the joke of the entire family and holding on to the past, which, let's be perfectly honest, was honest when he was rebuilding the house again.
Oh, come on, it took me months to find these original sconces.
Now, like Luthor's character, David Cross's character, Sky Grossman, felt a little bit underutilized.
Couldn't leave anything to chance, especially when it comes to the Umbrella Academy.
While I do appreciate the twist of him turning into Abigail, I had a slight inkling that Abigail might turn against Reginald, so I wasn't entirely surprised with the whole twist.
Who are you?
All in all, I would have loved to see more of him appear to each of the Umbrella Academy, including Reginald, which we did get in the last episode, but it would have been nicer if he had approached Reginald from the start and Reginald slowly started realizing that it was Abigail.
But why?
Dying was my penance for creating something so deadly.
And at the same time, maybe he would approach the other characters in the Umbrella Academy, giving us a more diabolical, classical villain theme than whatever we got with him. I honestly don't, I understood the role, but I feel like it was poorly utilized. We could have gotten a bit more of a mysterious vibe from him, but we didn't. But all in all, he was still a great character.
It's her.
She's calling out to you.
What? What are you talking about?
Lila and Diego's storyline was less satisfying. They were portrayed as less functional parents, and their separation early didn't make sense whatsoever.
Tell me it gets better when they're older.
It felt a bit rushed and uncalled for. I wanted to see everything about the relationship. You know those cheesy 2 to 3 fast forward moments in movies and TV shows where we get to see like a flashback of them getting married, them having kids, meeting the in-laws, explaining to the in-laws what the other Umbrella Academy characters meant to Diego and how everything worked. Like, felt like they rushed into showing us the end of the relationship rather than the journey itself. Maybe if we saw them struggling with their new reality and slowly growing apart.
Something other than changing diapers and wine mums and ballet class. At least you get to get outside the house every day.
And maybe then if they had gotten back together in the end, while showing that both of them had grown, where Diego is now not releasing his anger at his family, and Lila isn't just simply wandering off into the night, but actually talking to her family about her needing a little bit of her own space rather than just being the housewife.
Sorry about that. That's gonna change. A lot of things are gonna change now.
It would have felt a little bit more natural, but maybe that's just me. I'm a hopeless romantic and I love love, so the fact that they didn't work out is something I kind of disliked.
Make my own choices for now, okay?
I have laser eyes! I'm more powerful than you!
They're not even working!
Now, Lila's relationship with Five was kind of unexpected, but weirdly believable.
Is it weird?
Them getting stranded in a metro that connects to alternate timelines for like 7 years felt weirdly right.
It's been almost 7 years, Lila. We deserve a break. You know, a bed, a shower.
I would have loved for the show to explore more of the relationship while exploring more of the timelines where we get to see more of the 43 children and their powers and more academies and different apocalyptic worlds, rather than just see a cameo for the Phoenix Academy and the guy who threw balls of fire.
We're the Phoenix Academy?
I'll where the fuck you up?
I feel like this was a missed opportunity. I mean, if you're gonna do the montage to show them being there in a metro full of timelines, at the very least, do the whole showing us the different universes, do the whole adventure thing, and give us more cameos, right?
There's no sign of him.
Okay, well, let's get going before you start farting.
Something that might be sad to many, including myself, is the fact that we did not get to see a lot of Klaus this season.
Have you showered?
He never really had a major impact on the main story, but the subplots were always good in the previous seasons. He always was going on these tiny adventures, either on his own or with someone else of the Umbrella Academy.
You look like Antonio Banderas with the long hair. I just thought you should know. Thanks, man.
And we got to see a lot of entertaining stuff to watch. Yet this season, we didn't get to see that at all. I think it was generally way less exciting because he was held captive instead of going off on his own.
All right. Hop on board, Dick.
Or the fact that it wasn't as crazy as the previous ones. One of them he started a cult, so like for Klaus, I expected that.
Yo,
Quinn.
I thought you were dead, but turns out you can float.
But on the other hand, we did get to see him struggle with his own mortality and the whole germ thing and him sober, which I think the moral of the story was apparently sober people aren't fun.
You just got out of rehab.
I'm California sober, Alfonso.
It was another side of Klaus. It was fun seeing him in the first couple of episodes, a complete germaphobe and terrified about everything. But I still prefer him as the carefree, somewhat way too high, drunk person who gives us entertaining shit to watch.
Why am I always the last one to find out about the end of the... Oh my God. 5? I told him we had until 2019.
We have until Monday.
Ben was the highlight of this season. It was really good compared to the last season. 100% improvement.
When did you get out?
About an hour ago, but I'm strongly considering robbing a bank to get back in.
He was still angry and spiteful, but not on the level where it was not realistic, like before.
We bankrupted 100,000 people.
The whole thing was a witch hunt.
Say what you will. Still good to have you back. Cheers.
Because before he seemed like that generic super villain, angry at the world just for the sake of being angry.
At least he's trying, you shitty little squid. What have you contributed?
Actually, he did blow up half his family.
But you get to see more of his true character here and feel like there was a natural development, which I was kind of hoping to see not just with Ben, but with the rest of the Umbrella Academy.
We need to talk about Ben.
The Jennifer incident this season was actually brought up, and we actually got to see the original one in the first timeline.
I told you not to open the container.
I definitely did not expect to play out exactly how it did. Like, we knew Reginald was bad, but I didn't think killing his own son bad. The connection between Ben and Jennifer throughout the season was handled perfectly, and they clearly did get on when they first met. And if anything, she was the one who lightened up Ben, and that was a very nice scene to see.
You're a real piece of shit. God. How'd you get people to buy into your scam?
It wasn't a scam.
You can see the attraction that they both had for each other, just growing throughout the season. Me as a hopeless romantic, you know guys, I love love, so this was actually a treat to see. The ending broke me a little bit, but it still was a treat to see.
Keep driving south, living on a beach somewhere. Get married. Just you and me.
And as always, we got to see more growth for Victor, because Victor this season spent most of his time with Reginald.
If you look at the variables, the odds of success are vanishingly small.
And it was mostly to get some answers out of him, and to actually fully understand why he did what he did. But it was also to stop him from killing Ben in the end.
Take the shot.
But I loved everything about the pairing this season. It was familiar to last season's Klaus and Reginald. Something about it just felt really nice.
But my demons are literal.
All the more reason to face them.
The fact that they got answers, the fact that they were bonding, the fact that he actually changed a little bit of Reginald, where we saw him hesitate when taking the shot.
Why did I wait to take the shot?
The word nice may be a weird word to say, but it gave us all a warm feeling in our stomachs. It was like fixing parental trauma. Pretty sure anybody my age can relate to that.
You're the failure! You're the reason this happened!
Now, while we're on the topic of Reginald, I did enjoy seeing him this season. We had the conversation with him and Victor talking about how Reginald saw the world in black and white, but the world was actually gray.
That's because the only variables you consider are black and white. There's gray in the world. I live in that space.
And we got to see him realize that for the first time. And one of the moments that proved that was when he hesitated when trying to shoot Ben straight away. He allows Victor to try to help him first, and ultimately this leads to Reginald losing his life and this whole world he built.
Do you have any idea what you've done?
Yeah, I ended the world.
But he doesn't feel out of character for some reason, it just actually feels like personal growth. It feels like he actually wanted to do this for the first time, and I would like to say that part of that is due to being with Abigail. We got to see in the middle of the season what it's like when he's with her.
Is this really how you treat your guests? Threats and interrogations.
She warms him up, essentially, and for the first time in 100 years, he's not actually just clearly cold.
Now sit down, and we'll have a conversation like a civilized species.
Now, there must be a reason why she loved him, because let's be perfectly honest, dude is cold as fuck.
Tell me everything I want to know now, or suffer the consequences.
The main plot for the season, though, was actually really good. It was poorly executed, but it was good. I love the fact that two elements came into play that were synthesized by Abigail. I do like the idea of the two elements. They're essential to and the essence of the universe. When they come together, they cause an end. I really did enjoy that, but I think that the explanations were a little bit weak, and I wish that they took a bit more time to explain, because Abigail references that this destroys the world singular and that they shouldn't use it to destroy this one.
The extinction of everything we know.
The cleanse.
And yet later, the Umbrella Academy lets themselves get eaten by it and somehow just resets the whole universe, which was weirdly caused by Abigail. There's just something missing. It doesn't really make sense, and if it was like a reset and something with the terminology just doesn't make sense here.
Maybe we'll see each other again. That would be nice.
However, seeing secrets come out from Reginald Hargraves and learning all these extra things like the Jennifer incident pieced together in order to form the major plot, the way they tied it back to season 2 was great, but there was a weird question I had, which was, why didn't Ben know how he died? Why?
Allison, how did Ben die?
It was a tragic accident. Ben died because we failed as a team.
Why didn't he tell Klaus? I mean, even if they lost their memory through the whole memory manipulation that Hargraves did, the ghosts would have known.
No, unfortunately, ghosts can't time travel.
Are you kidding me?
Unless there's a way to remove the ghosts. I don't know. It was that little loophole that just didn't make, well, there were a lot of loopholes, but this one specifically didn't make sense.
Isn't it obvious? Someone's been playing putty with your hippocampus.
Also, I absolutely loved the scene where Jennifer and Ben merge into the Beast for the first time. And the fact that none of them can do anything. Their powers are just doing nothing. The music was so suspenseful that you actually believe that they can absolutely do nothing. It really sets the mood for the hopelessness which continued throughout the rest of the finale.
You know, I've really had about enough of this shit. It's really big and scary.
5, discovering the fact that there are multiple versions of himself, and finding out that his family's existence itself is what caused the multiverse to exist, and everything to do with the timelines and the crap that's going on with the timelines all has to do with the fact that his family actually just existed.
One perfect timeline, and the moment we come into existence, boom, shattered to an infinite number of alternate timelines and an infinite loop of time.
Now, the end itself, where they got themselves eaten and reset the timeline, didn't make much sense, but the overall plot was good. It just needed to be put together in a better way. I do feel like we could have benefited for having more time to explain a couple of elements, because it felt somewhat rushed and not focused enough. Like, where was Ray and Salome? I was expecting to see Ray being a part of this as a full character, because why wouldn't he be?
You're my brother-in-law.
What?
Yeah, man. Family barbecues are about to get real weird.
He's not just a figment of Allison's imagination anymore. He's a tangible person, and now he's gone. They didn't even give him a scene. They barely gave him an explanation.
Okay, that's Klaus. I can explain all of this.
And the same goes for Salome. Like, where did she go off to? Like, I was expecting Luther to go off and find her, and we could get more on the character and more of a growth for both of them, but they didn't really show anything. We got a line for Allison and Ray, and maybe 2 for Luther and Salome, and that's just about it.
Did you set me up? No,
I would never do that.
Something was just off. These 2 are supposed to be 2 main characters that had an integral part throughout the last season, so why weren't they here? We all wanted to see it. Another plot hole, I guess. Another question left unanswered.
I've come a long way for this. There's some shit your pea brain couldn't even comprehend. So just give me the information I need, and I'll be on my merry way.
Also, why did the Academy actually just leave their normal lives and go save this Jennifer person? No matter how much they missed their own lives, and not all of them did.
Fact is, you're all too busy living in loser mindset to realize we're much better off this way.
They just dropped everything and went to go save a random person that her father just told them she was kidnapped. Even if we take into account that weird material that gave them their powers, still doesn't make sense for them just to go off, leaving their kids behind, even if it was from the person who kidnapped Victor.
Because of this.
Although saving the girl is important, I feel like it just couldn't have been the main reason for them just to drop everything and go save the kidnapped girl. It feels like they got there a bit too quick, without ample reason, and just another random plot hole that they could have just fixed if they had more time.
Give us 24 hours.
5, what are you doing?
The cut down to 6 season is quite a jump from 10. And while the runtime of each episode was a little bit longer, it felt like they could have used more episodes to explain the plot and close all these plot holes and leave no questions left behind.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
And what the fuck was with the ending? It made the past seem useless, and honestly, it didn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, even if they did get eaten and that solved the problem, what about the rest of the 43 children that had powers?
Look around, 5. Does this seem right to you? No.
What about the other timelines? It wasn't really clearly stated that they're the main timeline, because there were multiple versions of 5.
But you think Einstein was thinking of this when he was figuring out relativity? Not a chance. This shit would have made his head explode.
And also, what happened to the kids that were on the train? Like, where did they go? What happened after the timeline reset? And did every timeline reset? Like, did they go to another universe? Because if they went to another universe, then that means the original sacrifice didn't make any sense. Or did they just somehow come back to the reset original universe, main timeline, kind of TVA, kind of shit where there's just one sacred time?
Broken timeline, man. There's only supposed to be one.
Like, even if with all the crap and the stuff that reset, it was still a lot of lives. Like, even if the solution was to reset all timelines, that also meant that they killed a lot of people. Like I said, it was like a TVA kind of thing.
All the different ways we made our universe go kaboom.
The ending just left a lot of unanswered questions and made me feel like the show itself wasn't worth watching, despite the fact that I enjoyed the first 3 seasons. The journey itself was great, but the ending made the whole thing disappointing.
On the 12th hour of the 8th day of August, 2024, absolutely nothing out of the ordinary occurred.
But there's no changing that now. So my advice for those thinking about watching season 4, just don't. And if you haven't watched The Umbrella Academy, watch till season 3 and come up with an ending in your head. Believe me, it's not worth watching the season 4 and ruining the entire experience for yourself. Because that's exactly what season 4 did for me. Great plot, horrible execution.
I would rather chew off my own foot.
And that wraps up my deep dive into the final season of Umbrella Academy. What do you guys think of the final ending? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it like me? Was it the closure you guys were hoping for? Did it leave more questions than it did answers? And by the way, I know the answer, it's yes. So tell me what your questions are in the comments below and what you guys think about the final season. Let's explore, let's talk, let's negotiate. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content on popular TV shows. And like I said, there are content on anime, comics, manhwa, and movies. So go check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay curious. Don't watch season 4. Peace.